Welcome back in the second episode of Idea to App Store in 100 Days, which is a documentary series where I'm going to build a fully functioning mobile app just purely with the AI without writing a single line of code because I can't code. Okay, so in the first video, we ran through the whole project from the idea through we were talking about the goals of this app. And in this video, this is going to be the first part of the first episode. This is the day one, where I'm going to be brainstorming with Claude about the whole app. I will just dump all my ideas from my brain to Claude, and we will define the core mission of the app in this episode. This one video will cover the first 3 days, but now we are on the first day, so we won't be focusing on the second and the third one. Everything in order. Okay, so first day, we're going to head to my Claude account where I only prepared a prompt engineer prompt. Basically, I usually use this when I start a big project to write a comprehensive, in-depth, and a highly functioning prompt with Claude. And basically now I'm at the stage where I just need to define what my main meta prompt will do. So probably this video we'll have time-lapse parts where I'm just thinking and answering questions that Claude asks from me. But if there will be any exciting or important part, I will just share my thoughts around it. So let's go to Claude, and I will think about the prompt, what I want to actually achieve with this. So the first is that I will need a thinking partner or a brainstorming partner that can help me get all the information and ideas from my brain, get them into my Claude, and from there we can start to define the purpose of the app, the whole mission, what it solves for ADHD people, because there are a bunch of productivity apps out there, and I want to build a real game changer app for my ADHD folks. Okay, so I will, by the way, I'm using Whisperflow for dictating everything. I barely type too much in the last couple of months. This is a very good software if you have to write a lot, or if you are journaling a lot, or write long emails or messages to your ex. Then I highly recommend you to start using Whisperflow. I pay like $12 a month or something like this, but it's highly worth it because it basically saves up like hours every single week just by switching my typing process to dictating. I don't usually care too much about my dictating in terms of like prompt engineering, because I usually use a prompt engineer prompt to generate a high quality prompt. So here I just usually dump everything from my brain, and AI obviously is smarter than me, so it will collect everything it's crucial and it's useful. And yeah, I don't like to overcomplicate things with AI. And by the way, if you're using Whisperflow, it will polish your dictating, and I think it even changes your grammar mistakes. Okay, so here we go. As a result, we will have a prompt from Claude that I will enter in another chat where we will be using our main conversation for this purpose. You're a product thinking partner helping me design a mobile app from scratch. Your job is not to give answers, is to help me think clearly, catch blind spots, and turn scattered ideas into structured decisions. I have ADHD. I'm building an app specifically for people with ADHD, not a generic productivity app, no Pomodoro timers, no habit streak counters, no feature bloat. This app needs to be genuinely useful for how ADHD actually works, the self-sabotage, the shame spirals, the forgotten intentions, the overwhelm from too many options, and the way motivation shows up. Okay, here we go. We have our prompt. I didn't modify anything. I just ran through the prompt that Claude generated for us. It's basically what I told it to do, just in a more structured way. what I really like in this prompt is this behavior part. Ask one question at a time, never stack multiple questions. When I usually ask AI to act like a brainstorming partner, I only get like 10, 15, 20 questions, and it already overwhelms my brain because I just can't focus on 20 things at the same time. Which is funny because I can, but when I have to focus and I have to give like detailed and structured answers, it's just simply too much for my brain. So I like this approach. Okay. Yeah. So I will press enter and then let's start. Tell me about the moment you most needed this app and it didn't exist yet. My biggest symptom, or the most important symptom that I would like to change in my life, is my forgetfulness, because I forget a lot of things. I forget to capture ideas, capture tasks I have to do, capture just random thoughts I have to manage. Even very small things like bringing my clothes to the laundromat. I have this in mind in the morning, but if I don't capture it anywhere, like written, I will forget like 99% sure. The biggest moment in my life, that's the most painful one for me with my ADHD, is my forgetfulness. I usually forget a lot of things I should have captured somewhere. And not just capturing these things or ideas, but the reminding system is the most important, because in my business, I have to deliver client results, I have to deliver projects or tasks for clients. But if I don't have them written somewhere in my Mac or in my journal or somewhere, I usually forget, and I have to have very long circles of giving them excuses or just simply telling them honestly that, oh yeah, I forgot to do that. And outside of work, for example, financial tracking, transferring my taxes, transferring my monthly expenses that it's not automatically charged on my credit card. So for me specifically, this is the biggest symptom I have with my ADHD. Maybe I will include the self-sabotage as well, because I really want to teach everything from my brain. After forgetfulness, the second most painful thing in my life is self-sabotage, which shows up in a way that I start doing something like I started building this app now in 100 days, and usually when I get so close to my goal, for example, if it's a business idea, and I'm getting so close to make my first income in the business, I usually stop. I find some reason to stop. 90% of the time, I just simply quit right before I have a chance to be successful or earn money or anything, not just money. And in Australia, I understood that it comes from the fear of being successful and the fear of being seen. That's why I would like to have some kind of motivational system or reminder system for my application users, so they will have some daily reminders of you are safe, being successful and being seen is safe. Yeah, this is the other idea I have now. Okay, then I will just press enter and I will paste it to Claude. The forgetfulness moment, client excuses, long repair conversations, what the actual gap there? Is it that you didn't capture the task in the first place, or that you captured it but still missed it when it mattered? Very good question. Okay, so now I'm going to have a longer chat with Claude. That I will stop the video here because I don't want to make you bored in the first video. So once I'm ready, I will continue the recording and I will give you a brief summary how it goes. Yes, I have finished the brainstorming session with Claude. It was maybe around an hour. It was quite a long chat, and I took my time to think about my answers. So let's run through in this first part about what we have now currently. Mission statement: an ADHD life management app that helps you start, stay on track, and regulate yourself without the shame, the bloat, and the dopamine that interfaces. Correct. The core purpose is built for people with ADHD who already know that they need to do but struggle to start, follow through, and not sabotage themselves at the finish line. It replaces the cold clinical task manager with something that actually fits how an ADHD brain works. It bursts with anxiety, with avoidance, and with a genuine need for external accountability. The goal is fewer excuses, less dread, and more days that end with things actually get done. Okay, the full feature list we have after this conversation. I might change this or add or remove. I just read through it now when I'm recording the video. Conversational project setup, chat-based onboarding for each new goal. Yeah, it's basically to make people feel more like safe in this environment of sharing these information with this application, and not just like a task manager in like ClickUp or Trello where you just add a new card and enter the details of your new project. Smart goal definition with sub-steps per project is to remove the friction from our brain that, oh yeah, this goal is to reach, for example, 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Seems so high and unachievable. that we can break it down into very small steps, like uploading the first video or even just writing notes for the first video. Bird's eye goal dashboard across personal and professional projects, progress tracking toward finish line, forward facing, not backward. It was an intentional decision from me to lower the chance of self-sabotaging when it comes to any kind of project. And when it comes to self-sabotage, I want the people to realize how close they are to their specific desire, and not focusing on the journey that they have been went through in the last, I don't know, couple of months or weeks or years. Morning check-in, activation focused, not planning focused, because we know what to do, we just can't force ourselves to start doing the thing. Evening check-in, optional, progress and mood capture, inactivity detection per goal with the gentle surface during check-ins, emotional safety messages attached to high anxiety tasks, gamification and reward system for task completion, morning routine nudges based on user-defined habits, onboarding that captures work style, morning routine and anxiety triggers, one-to-one private accountability partner pairing, public accountability, public community accountability feed, quick access breathwork or nervous system regulation tool. That is, I think it's highly important, at least it's highly important for me to have a quick tool that can help me regulating my nervous system in a stressful or anxious moment. Medication reminder is just a lightweight part of a general reminders and AI generated contextual messages about safety, motivation and check-in prompts. Okay, let's see. MVP features, the conversational project and goal setup, bird's eye goal dashboard, morning check-in with activation nudges, progress tracking, toward finish line, inactivity detection, emotional safety messages, gamification, quick access breathwork tool and onboarding. And in the backlog, we have the accountability, the regulation and well-being, the reminders and notifications. These are not the general reminding system, because the reminder system is basically the core of this app. It's just the specific about medication reminders, AI refined notification, timing based on behavior patterns. This is just a long-term feature idea. Intelligence layer, AI learning, which safety messages actually work for you, pattern detection across check-in responses over time, and social community posts with public commitment and accountability partner matching system. Okay, obviously we will modify this development map because we are super fast thanks for artificial intelligence, and in the 100 days we have to have enough time for the marketing as well, not just for the development phase. My idea is to finish the first version of the app at maximum at the 45-50 days, and have the second part of this challenge or the 100 days to actually promote the app and getting users on the app. Because if we have an app but no one is using it or no one knows about the app, it's quite useless, right? Okay, so that's all for today. It's quite long. The recording is on for 22 minutes now. It's going to be shorter because there will be part that I will just speed up. When I was chatting with Claude, and I paused it many times. But this was the first day, first part of this video. We have our feature list, and tomorrow we will go to the branding phase, and we will play around with Gemini to create our logo and branding elements like color palette, icon, of the character of the app, called Pheno. And once we have the branding elements or the branding direction and the feature list, we will write the full product specification, and we will jump onto Claude Code to actually start building our application. So see you tomorrow. So today in the morning I worked in a cafe, so I couldn't record my voice and my camera, so this part will be a time lapse. Basically here I was doing two things at the same time. obviously, with my ADHD. First, I was looking for design inspirations and UI inspirations, and I was looking for some kickoff point for our app design. I wanted to find a good color palette from an existing design. I use Dribble, Figma. Dribble is basically a platform where designers and UI designers can upload their existing work. So obviously I won't copy like one by one. I just wanted to have some inspiration to have any kickoff point for our application. Here I'm scrolling through screen designs, which is basically a collection of existing iOS applications with screens, but it was paid, so I didn't want to pay for this app. It didn't give me enough value for paying $29. And at the same time, I was chatting with Claude, and if I'm correct, we were discussing in the first part of this time lapse about the design and the branding guidelines, and in the second part we have discussed here we are talking about the design, and in the second part we will be discussing the gamified rewarding system for our application. This recording, by the way, is 1 hour and 15 minutes long, the raw footage. I might delete this part because it was a quite long chat. I just wanted to show you what is the process behind anything, basically, when I'm building this app from scratch. A really good app, in my opinion, starts with a blank page and a real problem. I think we have the real problem here because ADHD is a real problem and it's quite underrated still in 2026. And I have started with a blank page yesterday. I showed you the whiteboarding Canva in the day 0 or the day 1 video. And by the end of this video, you will be surprised how much improvement we have with the application. We have the full feature list for the MVP. We have a few features for the backlog. By the end of this time-lapse part, we will have the gamified system fully written, and I will have a really good structure for the gamification system. So here I will cut out the next few minutes of time-lapse because I don't have anything to say, because it's just a very long chat about the design, the colors, the mascot, the logo, and everything. So I will be back in a second. Okay, so here we reach an important part I want to mention. Basically with Claude, I prepared a comprehensive list of different postures and poses and different states of this mascot, of this bee. But then I had to realize with AI it's really hard to reach 100% consistent results. And with this project I don't want to hire a graphic designer to build all my vectorized characters and logos and different poses for our bee. So after a few minutes of failing and trying with Gemini, I decided to give up on this, and I won't be using the different kind of poses and designs of our bee, the logo that you see on the screen now. So yeah, here I was basically playing around with Gemini, but nothing really worked out. So I just decided that we will have the logo because the logo is good, I like it, and in the application we won't use any other pose of this bee. As you can see here, it's highly different from our logo, and I don't want to ruin the user experience with 10 different characters at 10 different screens. Okay, so here at the end, basically we discussed the gamification system, how the scoring will look like, how our users will be able to get score or points in the app, what rewards they will get in the app, and basically the whole concept is to collecting bees in your colony, and the more points you score or get by completing your tasks or projects or goals, the more bees you will have because I had an application on my phone a few years ago, something with trees, and it was basically a productivity app with a Pomodoro timer. And the concept was basically to make sure the tree won't die. So the more productive hours you have, the more alive the tree will be. So that's why I wanted to have, but instead of focusing on losing something, I wanted to give the excitement of winning something or getting something for my users. Okay, so as a closing part for this episode, I wanted to show you this very interesting thing about generating UI design with AI. So in the time-lapse part of this video, you saw that I was looking for different inspirations on Dribbble and different sites earlier today. And then I wanted to use Google Stitch for generating our UI design. So on Google Stitch, I prepared a really long prompt somewhere here. I don't know why or where. Oh yeah, here I gave Stitch a really long prompt, basically with every branding guideline, content, and the screens of the app that I prepared with Claude. And then I uploaded a few photos here as a reference or inspirations for Stitch. And then Stitch generated a design system and a color palette, and it generated a few screens for us. And I was quite sad because the result was pretty miserable, honestly. I'm not sure if I made some mistakes with the prompt or I couldn't enter enough context, or maybe it's just AI, but yeah, the result was pretty miserable. And after realizing this in the morning, I decided to stop playing around with Stitch, and I realized I had to find another way to generate UI. Like, look at this, what a fuck. And later today, after I had my dinner, I went back to this topic. And I'm not sure if I mentioned in the first video, but I don't use ChatGPT anymore. I canceled my subscription maybe 6-7 months ago, and I switched completely to Claude. But then somehow I was like, maybe what if I just give a shot for ChatGPT for generating UI designs. I heard a lot of good things about GPT Image 2.0 model, so I basically uploaded the same 3 screenshots from Dribbble from different apps, and then I gave a really long prompt for GPT. The first part of the prompt is basically a prompt engineering prompt that I got from my prompt engineer Claude chat. And then the second part was the UI design specification from earlier today, and it's the same one like I used in Stitch in the morning. And then at the end, and yeah, you can see the screens here and explanations of the screens. And then the last part of this prompt was the branding guidelines with the whole like generic branding guidelines, not specifically for the app UI design. And the result is fucking amazing. Like, it's mind-blowing. If I can find the end. So after I just pressed enter here, I got this. And if you just have a look on this screen and I switch to Stitch for basically the same app, the same screen, I'm like, wow, it's damn good. Like, I have built at least 100 or 120 websites in the last 6 years. I could, so I mean, I had the knowledge and the skills to build the whole UI design for this app by myself in Figma. But as I have mentioned, I wanted to just use AI to generate everything. And after I saw this in the morning, I felt like maybe I have to invest my time and actually create the UI design for the app. But then when I saw this from GPT, I was like, wow. So, and then I asked GPT to generate a grid with all the screens from the application, and I just couldn't say anything. It just wow, still wow. As you can see, there are all the screens here from our applications, obviously not in a perfect quality, but we even have like short descriptions for the different screens, and this is just crazy. And the more crazier part is that I asked GPT to generate them one by one in a higher quality, and it simply started generating with consistency, as you can see here. Like the first screen is the splash or the loading, second is onboarding welcome, and the only difference basically here, or the only issue I found here, is basically the logo is not center aligned on this one screen, but it even generated a perfect Apple keyboard. And then I reached my maximum limit, so I have to subscribe in the morning. So the reason why I wanted to show you this now at the end of this video, and why I don't finish the whole UI design in this first episode, because first of all, this video is already long enough, and the second is this was basically the strategic part of our branding and UI design and failing and trying. And from tomorrow I will fully focus just on building the screens and making the screens as beautiful and efficient as possible. And hopefully by the end of this week we will have every screen we are going to use in our application, and the next week we will be able to jump on Claude Code to start building Pheno, the ADHD life management app. So if you are still here, I appreciate you, and if you have any thoughts or ideas or improvement, feel free to comment down below, and make sure to subscribe to my channel, and see you in the next video.